Well, on that day, we were having our rally in Portland for the Ferguson decision, and we were trying to provide a minimal police presence, but yet provide an avenue of safety for our community members to vent their frustrations and their concerns. My colleague and I, Brian, we noticed that Devonte was in the crowd, in and amongst what ended up being some of his other siblings. They all had signs, and some said a variety of different things, but the one that we really kind of got a chuckle out of was Devonte's sign, which was fairly large, and it said "Free Hugs." And then as he got a little bit closer, he turned towards us, and I noticed tears flowing out of his eyes. And I said to Brian, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna call him over here and see what's wrong." He shook my hand, I introduced myself. "Hey, my name's Bret, what's your name?" He told me Devonte, and we started talking, and the first question I asked him is, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "Is everything okay?" And he said he was sad, and he talked about being sad about a protest, kind of about national events. And so, you know, for a kid, which I perceived he was 10 to 12 years old, that's a pretty big pill to swallow and a lot to process. And so I wanted to bring him back to kid level and just reassure him that everything was going to be okay. And really all I could do was apologize. And hopefully my apology was going to be enough to help satisfy him, to show him that I do care. And I just kind of sighed and said, "I'm sorry. Yeah, I know, sorry." I looked down at his sign, which he had set down on the ground, and it was facing straight up, and it said "Free Hugs" on it. And it was an opportunity that I couldn't resist and couldn't miss. And I just pointed down to his sign and said, "Hey, can I have one of those?" And he just looked at me with these big wide eyes and just grabbed hold of me. And I think at that moment in time, the picture that is out floating around on the internet and throughout the world, I think that just captured the moment. So apropos of what not only the community is asking for, what the nation is asking for, but what the world is asking for right now. I mean, every time you read a newspaper, turn on the TV, there's some sort of death and destruction going on in the world. And to be able to, you know, turn on your homepage on your computer or turn on your TV and see this photo, it's just like, finally, some peace. Yeah, it's pretty emotional. I had no real idea that he was crying that hard when he was on my shoulder, because my head was over the top of his, wearing a big helmet. And you know, he turned around, picked up a sign, he walked back to his mom. I looked to his mom, and she was approaching me. And what really got to me at that point in time was she shook my head and said, "Thank you, he really needed that."